Benedetto.
Yeah, Michael, with 0.7 seconds left on RJ's second free throw there, is there a call from the sideline in to tell him to miss that one intentionally, or how'd that all go down?
RJ Hampton. Yeah, it was my concern with telling him to miss, and I've seen this happen before, is the guys try to miss on purpose and they don't touch the rim, which gives the other team the ball side out. Obviously, they didn't have any timeouts, but that was a well-timed miss, well-placed miss that allowed us to eke out a division win. So, it wasn't pretty. I thought to start the game, we weren't ready to play. Starters kind of got us back in, went to our bench. I thought our bench was not ready to play in that first half. Challenged our guys at halftime and, came out, won the third quarter. That's two games in a row where we've won the third quarter, which is a good sign. And, our defense was pretty good all night long. It was just our inability to make shots. They went under on everything. They double-teamed Nicole all night long. But down the stretch, the execution, and I think in the fourth quarter we held them to 16 points and 25% from the field. And that enabled us to pull out the win.
Alex Labadou.
Hi, Coach. I just wanted to get your overall thoughts on the win, and also what was your vantage point from that goaltend at the third quarter, and do you think that provided any sort of momentum or spark?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think there's no such thing as an ugly win. I'd much rather be 14-11, Alex, and 13-12 with the Lakers coming to town on Sunday. It's a division win. I believe we're 5-1 in that division now. And you have to win ugly games. This Thunder team did the same thing to the Lakers back-to-back games, took the Lakers to overtime, 2 games in a row. They play hard, they're aggressive, they're into you, they rebound, they move without it. And, we just had to stay the course. And we were able to get the win because we were able to stay together, stay positive, and have some really good late execution. I think that was a big play. Jamal Murray throws the ball up, end of the quarter, and we wound up getting 3 points. And that carried our momentum into that fourth quarter. So sometimes you need the breaks to go your way, and that was definitely one that went in our favor.
Ryan Blackburn.
Coach, Jamal Murray struggled to start this game, and he even looked like he picked up a sprained ankle towards the middle of that fourth quarter. What does it kind of say about his ability to stick with it and his ability to kind of, as he's grown up through this league, to stick with the process and help get the team going the right direction?
Yeah, what I loved about Jamal was even though his jumper has not been going, when that's going on, you can't allow that to affect the rest of your game. Because if you do that, then you're a specialist. Then you're solely a shooter. And we all know that Jamal Murray is much more than that. He scores 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. And I just liked his engagement, how hard he was playing. He was competing. And that was my message at halftime. I said, right now, fellas, the biggest concern I have is that the Thunder are playing harder than us. They get numbers, stats, plays, all that. They're playing harder than us. So that's where it starts in the second half for us. We can change that. We control that. I think in the first half, they kicked that butt on the glass. We turned the ball over, 8 turnovers, 13 points. So it was really simple. Play harder, rebound the ball, and take care of it. You give yourselves a chance to win. And I told the guys we're going to come back and win, and they all felt the same way. We had confidence that we'd be able to. But Jamal is a warrior. He's got a lot of different bumps and bruises right now, but we don't win the game without him.
Kyle Fredrickson.
Hey, Michael, another key moment was that foul that you challenged that went from I think it was a defensive foul to a loose ball foul. You guys went on a 6-0 run, I think, after that point. Just, it seems like you got to be careful as a coach when to use that card. What made you confident that was a good point to use it?
Well, I just thought it was an awful call. They called the foul on RJ Hampton, who was actively engaged, blocking out, the offensive player. And he got called for the foul, and I saw the replay up top. Usually I'll wait for one of my coaches to see the replay on the bench. I watched it up top, and RJ did everything I asked him to do. So in that instance, I felt, protect my player, stick up for him, and I also thought it was just an obvious call that would be overturned. And give credit to James Williams, the crew chief. He came over and said, yep, that was a bad call. You were right. But this is what I hate about that rule. I took that early in the fourth quarter, and even though the challenge was successful, I still lose the timeout because that was our mandatory. And I think that's something that the league, we've had discussions about, that we have to look to change. If you win a challenge, you still shouldn't lose the timeout because it really doesn't make sense. So we won, but we lost, if that makes any sense.
Go back to Vinny Benedetto.
Yeah, Michael, Al Horford was kind of getting what he wanted early. I think he had 12 of his 16 in probably the first half of the first quarter. Anything changed with the way you guarded him the rest of the three quarters, or was it just kind of an increased effort?
Yeah, I think it was definitely increased effort, but just a more personnel discipline. You know, Al Horford's a guy that wants to catch and face and jab and shot fake and shoot his jump shot. And I felt early in that game, to your point, I believe he had 12 in the first quarter. He was just too comfortable. There was just too much separation, too much airspace. So I think as the game went on, we did a much better job of crowding him, getting into him, trying to make him put it on the ground. And we also had a few game plan discipline mistakes when he was setting pick and rolls and popping. We should have had better coverage, and we had a few breakdowns that gave him wide open looks. But as the game went on, we stayed with it, and we got better and better.
All right, we got time for one more. We're going to end with Ryan Blackburn.
Coach, just one last thing about that starting unit. It seems like that group is starting to find a little bit more chemistry over the past couple of games, both offensively and defensively. Have you spoken to those guys about various things that they're doing out there, from a switching perspective, from a just movement perspective, or is this just time on the floor spent together?
It's a combination. You know, I think I can talk to them all I want. We can watch film all we want, but the act of doing it on the floor in a real game is, I think, the most important factor. We don't have much practice time, and when we do, we're not doing anything live right now. Can't afford for anybody else to get hurt. So film sessions, reinforcing the positive, cleaning up the things where we're having breakdowns, ball movement, spacing, screening, defensively. What are our coverages? If we're switching 1 through 4, making sure we're calling out our coverages early, proper weak side awareness, all those things come into play. But I think our guys are going out there and taking all that information and now acting upon it, which is what you want to see. Obviously, it was great to win 2 games in a row. After losing 3, we've defended at a high level 2 games in a row. Obviously, the offensive rebounds allowed, 19 against Cleveland, 11 tonight. We have to be better. And we all know against the Lakers on Sunday, last time we played them, we had a great first half. In the second half, they just ran the ball down our throat. So hopefully we can be a lot better on defense, especially transition, come Sunday.
All right, that'll do it. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.